Hello, my streaming sanctuary family. Welcome back into the streaming sanctuary into season 4 of our Women on the Move empowerment sessions. Listen, today's empowerment session is a personal one for my guest. It is a true, powerful testimony, and I am joined by an incredible woman of God who was opening up and sharing her testimony of how she overcame breast cancer. That's why I got my pink on. And even though pink is a pretty color, listen, there is nothing pretty about this disease. What started for her as a routine doctor's visit turned into something that was life altering, life changing, a diagnosis that she didn't know how she was going to get through it. But, but God, through God's strength, her story did not end in that doctor's office. She would find that her story is just beginning. She didn't just fight through this, but she overcame it. And now she's helping others to do the same. This conversation, it carries faith, it carries resilience, it carries raw emotion and real victory. We got some powerhouse women who are living amongst us. And I'm so grateful that she chose to open up and share her story with me. So, I'll ask you this: are you ready to be empowered? Because I know that I am. So, come on, let's go. Let's get into it. I know you're going to enjoy it. Let's go.
Welcome to the streaming sanctuary, where the broken scrolling still carry, where the lonely find a family, every pixel hums with faith and love.
Welcome in to Women on the Move. I am here and joined by Miss Kayla Harris. Hey, Kayla. Thank you so much for joining me in this space and in this time to share your story about overcoming. I've had the opportunity and the pleasure to sit down with you a few times and just kind of get a glimpse of your story. So I'm elated to hear more about your journey. But before we get too deep into your overcoming story, I just want to share a little bit about who you are and your background with our viewers before we get started. So, as I said, I am here with Kayla Harris. Kayla Harris is in the banking industry. She works for Synchrony Bank. She's been there for 9 years. She graduated from South Carolina State University with a Bachelor's of Science, and her major is in marketing. So, we got a
Yes.
marketing major here. In 2024, life took a pivotal turn for Miss Kayla, and she was diagnosed with triple positive breast cancer, which is an aggressive form of breast cancer, I understand. But through faith, through perseverance, her reliance on God, definitely the love of her community and the strength of her community, she not only was able to take a moment to embrace that battle, but she was able to lean in and understand and know that faith does definitely make the impossible possible, right? Our faith in God definitely does that. And now she was on a path to encourage others to take their health seriously. Ladies, we got to take our health seriously. We got to go get those annual checkups. Don't take those things for granted. Get those mammograms, stay strong, and never give up. I know when I go to the doctor, they always like, have you had your mammogram? You gotta be willing to go in and do those things. Kayla is definitely a woman of resilience. She keeps God first every day. She surrounds herself with faith and love, and you can see the faith and love just radiating on the screen around her. And today, she just works to channel that same determination into her nonprofit, which just got launched. Yay! Her nonprofit called Sister Still Surviving. Amen.
Yes.
Which is dedicated to supporting breast cancer patients as they rise beyond their battles. Again, Miss Kayla, welcome in.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm excited to share my journey to help
Yes,
someone.
yes, and that's what it is, right? It's all about that journey, right? And a lot of
Hmm.
times we tend to forget that life is a journey. We only get one life to live. We got to make the best of every single day because sometimes things will happen and we don't know when it's going to happen, right? Unfortunately, we don't get to wake up every day with a manual or like I'm type A personality, so I like to plan everything, right? You know, I got
Mm-hmm.
my to-do list. Like I got a to-do list to do the to-do list, right? I'm type A. I
Mm-hmm.
like to have everything planned out. But, you know, I wake up in the morning and I spend time with God. And God may prepare me for some things that's going to happen for the day, but it's not like God is saying, "Hey, Alicia, A, B, C, D, E, F, G is going to happen today. You're going to go through this, or your daughter's going to go through this, or your husband's going to go through this." But He may just say, you know, be prepared to be resilient, or today you're going to have to be extra stronger. He may just give me a specific area to pray for.
Mm-hmm.
And um, I know for me personally, when something happens that day, I'll be like, oh, okay, God, that's why you had me praying for that this morning. So I want to just jump right into the story, Kayla,
Mm-hmm.
and start off with your story of overcoming. And take us to this day because you were going in for a routine checkup.
Mm-hmm.
So take us through this day. You woke up, you're going in. Did you have plans to go to brunch afterwards? Like, and how it just kind of evolved into this life altering diagnosis.
Okay. So it was in 2024. It was
Mm,
a regular checkup. I actually had a biopsy because I have fibroids,
okay.
and I was dealing with fibroid issues. So they was doing a biopsy, and I was trying to be able to conceive. And so when I went in on the table with my gynecologist, they was doing the biopsy, and all of a sudden I usually have trouble. I don't have trouble breathing. And when I
Mm-hmm.
was breathing, I was like short of breath because I was trying to control like the pain from the biopsy, what they was doing. And I just grabbed my chest and I actually felt a big knot, like a knot in my chest. And I was like, Doc, can you please check me? I know you're not my physical, primary care doctor, but can you please check me? He said, of course. He said, you feeling uncomfortable because he said, you usually can take pain. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
yes. I said, but I feel it not right here. His eyes got big. Next thing you know, he pressed down on my chest and his eyes got big. And he said, Kayla, we're going to have to stop this procedure and you're going to have to go get a mammogram and I'm going to refer you. And right then and there, my heart just dropped. But I still didn't understand. Like it didn't hit me all of a sudden. So I went to the mammogram
Mm-hmm.
referral in that same day. So I had,
Okay, because that's what I was gonna say. Is this the same day? So now
yeah,
you
this
going
is,
to another doctor's
yeah, because
appointment.
my doctor's office was in a hospital, but they do have like other offices. So he sent me to the referral right then and there. So they did an ultrasound and they did the mammogram. And when they did the ultrasound, they came in and the doctor said, "You see these rigid edges? That's cancer. That looks like cancer.
Oh
But
wow.
we will let you know for you to come back and to see, your nurse navigator." So I said, okay. I didn't know it was that serious. I was like, that ain't nothing. It's probably just a tumor, but I'm still hopeful. I
Yeah.
always been hopeful. And I got home, not even probably 2 or 3 days later. I'm working at my desk, and the nurse navigator called me and said that I had breast cancer, that I need to come in and give me a little routine and make sure that I have somebody with me. That's when I found out I was stage 2 breast cancer, and my not my tumor was probably like no bigger than a quarter.
Mm.
And so once it's over past 0.25, you either have to have surgery, or you're gonna have to take chemo. But mine was a little bit bigger. Mine was like 0.27.
Mm.
So I had to do chemo. I had to do radiation.
Mm,
I also had to do immunotherapy for a whole entire year.
mm.
Um, During my transition, that all happened less than 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
I was told I had breast cancer. The next 2 weeks, I was in chemo.
Wow.
So I didn't have time to even digest what was really going on with me.
But you went to the gynecologist
Yes,
because you were on a road because you making plans to be fruitful and
yeah,
multiply.
bring life.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, so you're thinking like, so I imagine life for you was thinking, okay, you know, I see kids in the future, new life, probably talking about marriage. So let me just
Hmm.
get all these things in order. And so over the next 12 months, you not thinking about cancer.
Not at all.
It was
Not
another
at
C
all.
word, but it wasn't cancer, it was a child.
Cancer. Right.
Oh
And
my gosh. Okay, go
so,
ahead, girl.
so after, it was so crazy. Let me back up before I tell you this. My aunt had called us probably like probably 2 weeks before I was diagnosed and
Mm-hmm.
brought everybody to her home and told her that she had breast cancer.
Oh,
So I was like, oh, okay, I don't, everybody went around talking about what's going on with them. It was like a kumbaya with my family.
yeah.
First time they ever did it. And I was just sitting there like, dang, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm glad,
Wow.
and I was probably the worstest one out there
Oh,
at
wow.
during that time. So I just want to tell God, thank you. I give
Mm-hmm.
him praise through my journey because it's just some unexplainable to be, to really go
Yeah,
through. I had grew my hair out really, really long. And then imagine just after that
yeah.
first round of chemo, hair falling out. You're
Mm,
not recognizing yourself. You being stripped away,
mm.
thinking that, that you're gonna die.
Yeah. So you're at the table, you're at your aunt's house 2 weeks prior. Your
Mm-hmm.
aunt gives her diagnosis of breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's going around, and you're like, I don't have a story.
Right.
Life is good. Like, because I'm probably sure at this point you had already made the appointment with the gynecologist to do the other work done for the wow. I mean,
Yeah.
and I laugh, but it's not a joking matter.
No, it's fine.
And I know that as women go through this, and men can be impacted by this as well. But the significance here is, or the challenge part is, God, I'm on a trajectory to do one thing. And I guess that's why, when people say, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Tell him what you have planned, because God knows what, and I don't want to say that God had this plan, but God knew what was about to happen. And even in your aunt sharing her story and everybody going around, and maybe that was the moment where it was like, God, I don't have a story. But in that, God still gave you a blueprint, a model, someone that you would be able to go on this journey with. So when you got your diagnosis, so
Mhm.
within a 2 week period, so you're talking about 14-day period, um, did you talk to your aunt? Did you call her and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
auntie"?
Yeah, I said, well, I call all my family members and,
Mm,
and actually told them what was going on. They was heartbroken.
mm,
Like I didn't even like really talking to them about it because they were so much emotional than me. And
yeah.
during this time, I'm gonna tell you, it was nothing but God because I haven't cried, and I cry more now than I was actually going through it because I
Mm,
knew I had to fight. and just be there for my family. I wanted my soul to be right,
Yeah.
and just making sure that I'm even motivating other people, even going. I was feeling going into chemo, I was feeling bad for the people that was coming in there
Mm.
and
Yeah.
trying to make them feel good, and I'm just as broken.
Yeah. Did you ever like connect with the reality of what you were going through? Like, did you ever look in the mirror and was just like, you have breast cancer? Like, did you ever connect yourself
Hmm.
to that? Okay. And how was that? Because sometimes we can disassociate to the point where we know it's reality,
Hmm.
and some people, they're going through it, and it's like, okay, you're smiling on the outside, but you haven't really connected with that experience. So talk a little bit about that moment when God just kind of shifted that lens for you. You were connecting with that experience, you were in it, and you began to recognize, this is my story.
It was when my hair was falling out really, really bad. So I called my stepdad over to shave my head off. It was my mom, my best friend, and one of my sisters. And I had the phone in my hand recording
Mm-hmm.
up, and I had to look at myself. They was shaking, they was crying, and I was just looking at myself.
Mm.
And when I was looking at myself, I had to remind myself who I was and who I am. And I had to realize this is bigger than me.
Yeah.
This is bigger than me and who I am. It was like a rebirth. So I didn't care about my eyebrows was gone. I didn't care about my hair. I was stripped away into something brand new, and that was gonna flourish so that I can be strong and
Mm-hmm.
give other people courage. And I just knew in my heart that I was gonna be seen through. And I have a actually story. Some people don't get to have, go through life and find a actual purpose,
Yeah.
and it came with pain. And but it's something beautiful now. It's
Yes.
like a flower just
Yes.
blooming. So I promise God that if you get me through this,
Mm-hmm.
because this one day I was just going to the bathroom, couldn't I was so sick, nauseous, and I got on my knees and I said, God, if you get me through this, I'm definitely gonna tell people about you and what
Mm.
you have done for me. And he really been holding me accountable for that. So I'm grateful for this blessing to even speak to you.
Mm. Amen. I remember when I saw you, and and ever since I've known you, like, you've always had this upbeat, bubbly personality. Just from like our first connection, you've always been a young lady who has thrived off of knowledge of, there's just this eagerness, this desire to want more and to just grab hold of more. So I remember one of our, first connections, and I think I don't I think we were doing, it was either a mock interview.
Hmm.
I think it was a mock interview for a role, and I just remember, like, after that you would always come up to me after the fact, and you'd be like, Miss Alicia, I did this, and Miss Alicia, I'm interviewing for this, and Miss Alicia, and I'm listening to what you said, and I'm like, that's her. So I remember when I saw you just a few months ago, we were at one of our hub events. And I was like, hey, girl. And, you still had that bright, bubbly personality. And you were like, yeah, I'm just getting back to work. I just got through dealing with breast cancer. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. But it was your demeanor in it. It was your presence in it. And honestly, like, on the outside looking in, I could not tell that you had been through what you've been through. If you never told me, I would have never known the story. And but it was the way that you said it, Kayla. It was, I could tell that there was a conviction and faith in there. Like, the way that you said it was, I went through this, like God brought me through this. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was that conviction, and it wasn't like a feel sorry for me. It was like,
Mm-mm.
girl, let me tell you, I am back. And I was like, wow, and I mean, I'm just sitting here. I probably would like you at your aunt's table, like she has a story. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like this is a transformative story. And even from after that, and just speaking with you one on one to prepare for today and just getting even more glimpses of the story. But the way that you associated with the pain, and you talked about your stepdad coming over, shaving your hair. You recorded this process, so now you have a vivid reminder, not just for yourself, but for other people. Um, but you talked about how everything got stripped away. My, how you identify yourself, because as women, our hair is our glory. Eyebrows,
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
we get up, like we get up, and even though we may complain about doing our hair, and we may cut it off for luxury because we don't want to do it, but all of the things that you identify with as a woman is, like you said, is being stripped away from you, and you're in this position of pain, but you found purpose in that pain. You found purpose in that. So what was harder for you when you think about that particular piece? What was harder to overcome? Was it the situation itself, or was this transformative process?
Transform the process.
Mm,
Because while I was going through it, I didn't not saying I didn't realize I was going through it. It just didn't hit me. It hit
mm-hmm.
me after the fact. So it's like, should I feel sorry for myself
Yeah,
or should I do something about it to make awareness
yeah,
and to help someone? And that was my whole goal. And the community, like my synchrony family, they really showed up for me,
yeah.
making me feel like I'm there. But it was after the fact. But this really strengthened my relationship with God because I
Mm-hmm.
was kind of lost. And
Mm,
I felt like this was his way of just bringing me back to him,
mm,
like, and learning so much more about the Bible. First, I wasn't, didn't read my Bible like I should, but now I read
mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
And also joined Love Ministries.
Okay.
It's a ministry group also that helped me with that transition. And that was a friend who was caring about my soul, you
Yes.
know, because I didn't know if I was gonna live
Yeah.
or die, but I
Yeah.
just know that I wanted to have peace.
Yes. So what as you going through this transformative process, you're getting closer to God. And one thing I always tell people, when it comes to these terminal illnesses, and people always question, why do bad things happen to good people? And God is not the one that's, dishing out cancer, or dishing out people getting killed or people getting hurt or anything like that. God is not dishing out these things, but God is the one who sits on the throne to help us overcome those things. So as you're navigating and you're drawing closer to God, and you mentioned a key word, you said you wanted to have peace. I don't think a lot of people realize what peace looks like. And sometimes in order to get through that peace, you got to go through a season where it's not so peaceful. And you were definitely going through a season where this don't look anything like peace. That's why a lot of people, they say, like, I don't want to pray for patience, because if you pray for patience, you're gonna, have some sort of test that's gonna prove your patience. But that's what it's all about. So was there any areas in you getting to that level of peace? Because the word of God tells us that God will not just give us peace, but peace that surpasses all understanding. Like, people do not understand how you can be so calm in this situation. People do not understand how you can show up with joy in the situation, because even though you're going through it, there is a peace that's on the inside of you. The Holy Spirit is like, look, it doesn't matter. However it happens, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to carry you through. So, were there any revelations of peace, like any moments of discomfort where God was like, all right, well, in order for you to have peace, you got to get rid of this, you got to get rid of that? Any feelings, any people, relationships, anything like that that you had to overcome as well?
Yes, my
Mm,
trauma, me
mm,
being feeling like I needed to be accepted, since a little girl, had to
mm.
let that go. I'm
Wow.
just now getting my relationship back with my dad. I love
Mm,
my dad to death. My biological dad. Right now, he's battling cancer at stage 4. So
mm.
they're helping him, but
Yeah.
our relationship wasn't always on the right track. But God gave me the second chance to get it right. And that was
Amen.
something that I was holding on to. And I had to forgive him and then really forgive myself also too.
Mm,
And just things that didn't serve me. I really seen who my real friends was doing this time, but I didn't hold anything back from anybody, but really take all that anger, take all that hate, because it was time to fight and live
mm-hmm.
and definitely exude love. If we say we believe in God, that's what we should have in our heart, love. So if I was going to go to heaven, I knew that my soul would have been peace because I done forgave everybody. And
Yes.
no one was going to stop me from getting in heaven.
Mm. Nobody, nothing, nowhere, no
No,
how.
right.
But isn't that like just quite, it's revitalizing, and it's refreshing how God will put us in situations to expose, like you said, the trauma, the things that we've been holding on to since we were young. And we got to remember that most, I dare say, I don't have numbers. I didn't Google any numbers, but I believe over 50%. If I had to put a number on it, I believe over 50% of the adult issues that we have stemmed from when we were children, when we were young. The need for
Mhm.
acceptance, right? The need for validation, the need to compare ourselves to other people, the need to stay in toxic relationships, and the need to be people pleasers, um, the need not to be able to say no sometimes, right? Sometimes you got
Mhm.
to be able to say no to certain people, places, and situations that do not serve you. And then also be able to say, there are some people in my life who I may need to go back and forgive, because that unforgiveness in me, that root of unforgiveness in me is a blockage, is holding up something that God is trying to do in me. So again, not to say that God was the one who gave you cancer, but God was the one who allowed so many things to be birthed, so many relationships to be restored. So while some of, like you said, you had friends that, okay, they couldn't handle your story, they couldn't handle the journey. So you got to go.
Mhm.
You have to go, and internally you have to be okay with that, because you can't handle anything disrupting your immune system, your body, because you need all the energy that you can have, right?
Mhm.
um no negative energy is needed in the space, because your body cannot handle it. It physically
Mhm.
cannot handle these things. So what, when you think about, because you talked about you joined some ministries, you joined the love ministry, you started reading your Bible, you started getting into your devotion. I'm sure that that prayer time increased, where you were just like, Lord, help me. Um, Making some promises, because sometimes we make promises in the heat of the moment. Lord, if you get me through this, I'll never do it again. And then we get out of the situation, and God is like, did you forget about your promise? But
Right.
it sounds like you are forging forward to continue to make good of the promise that you made to God, and He is opening the door for you to continue to make good on that promise. So
Mhm.
God bless you, Kayla, for definitely continuing to
Thank
do that. But are there any other practices or any other decisions, any like new normal for your routine that helped you stay anchored during that time?
Always know that trouble do not last always. There
Mm,
always gonna be a rainbow at the end.
mm,
And once I realized that I didn't have no control of that situation,
yeah.
that's when God really took over. And
Mm,
I just let him use me
mm-hmm.
and be a blessing. And I was able to help my dad now. I
Yeah.
was able to help a couple of my friends right now that has breast cancer, and to walk them through the situations where they're not being blinded by,
Mm-hmm.
um, preparing them. Um, when I just want to say that when I just let God take over and I
Yeah.
wasn't in control, that's when I feel like I was begin to heal.
Mm-hmm. When you say, or how we say, Jesus take the wheel.
Yes, yes, exactly. It's nothing I can do. No, none.
Right.
It's not in my control.
Jesus
Take the
take the
wheel.
wheel. You
Mm-hmm.
take the wheel. You are the driver. I am the passenger. But we let the Uber and Lyft drivers take the wheel more than we let God take the wheel. Because we'd
Exactly.
be like, Jesus take the wheel, and then Jesus started turning, and we'd be like, nope. So I don't even know
Cause
why
he
you came down this street. This is not the street we was going down. You could have kept it going straight. What are we doing over here?
right.
So how is your aunt doing? So she had her diagnosis a
She
couple of
had her
weeks
done.
before you did. So how is your aunt doing?
She's doing amazing. She had her cancer was zero. It was
Oh,
at the level was at zero. She had like surgery, and radiation. After that,
okay.
she was fine. Like, you
Okay.
know, she didn't do the extent of what I
What-
had to go through, but she was
Okay.
fine. She was there to cheer me on, to check up on me.
Yeah.
Um, I put it on Facebook, which my mom was like, "Don't put it on Facebook, don't,"
Yeah.
But I was like, "You don't have to tell everybody what you're doing." But actually, it actually helped me because I
Okay.
didn't have those inner thoughts in
Mm.
myself. And boy, my inbox blew up of
Yeah.
different young ladies telling me that they have it and what they're scared of and what they need to look forward to. So that's the reason why I wanted to
To share.
definitely start like a nonprofit,
Yeah.
for that comfort. And I love working with the Pink House, and helping them with their foundations,
Okay.
fundraisers. And so I'm very active,
Yeah.
in
So
this
talk a little
work.
bit more about your nonprofit and how that came to fruition, like even with the name, and how did all of that come about with your nonprofit?
Okay, so this is crazy. You can be like, girl, what? So my friend from church, she been in the family for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We her last name is Tucker. She was diagnosed with breast cancer too.
Okay.
And we had the same we haven't spoke we didn't speak for a long time. But my aunt made sure that she was like, Kayla got breast cancer, and then she's like, oh, I got breast cancer too. Found out that we had the same doctor. Yeah. We found out that we had the same doctor. We found out that we had the same surgeon at the time.
Oh
Yes.
wow.
And we were almost the same age. We act some similar to each other. It was just
Right.
I was like, okay, God, give me a buddy to go along with, with
Yes.
this. So me and her came together. We made sure that each other was fine, and
Yeah.
we was like, we got to do something big. The first conversation we had, we got to do something big. We're gonna have to do something for breast cancer community. And she came up with the idea of Sister Still Surviving. And I said,
Mm.
yes. And we definitely got some things that we plan. We want to make sure that we get yoga, for the cancer patients, make sure that getting like massages. We're gonna
Mm-hmm.
throw a pink ball, which I'm excited about. That's in the
Okay.
making, in the plan. So to raise money for awareness. So I'm excited about that. Um, Definitely being able on a platform to share my story and her story too.
Yes.
But I just think that this is supposed, like, this was supposed to happen to get
Mm-hmm.
me in gear, for not me being complacent, not knowing my path, just living with no purpose, no action.
Mm-hmm.
And now I feel like I got action and I got purpose, and it's for God. I'm doing this for God.
Mm. And you know what I just thought about as you were telling that story? I go back to how we started the conversation and how he talked about you went into the gynecologist for one thing. You went in because you were trying to conceive, you wanted to birth. But in reality, you have birth. You're giving birth.
Yep.
It wasn't a baby you was planning for, but you have a baby. Out of this process, you have a baby. You have a new journey. You have a new purpose that I believe was in you all along. It was already shaping, it was already forming in you. You already had the platform, you already had the passion for it. Now, God gave you a testimony, He gave you some words, He gave you some real life structure to put into this new baby, because that's, I mean, honestly, that's what it is. It's a baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's shaping. It has a heartbeat. It's getting some arms and legs and feet.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. And soon and very soon it's going to be taken up and it's going to be walking, then it's going to be running, then it's going to be flying all over the world. But I
Mm-hmm.
definitely see you, Kayla, doing big things with your nonprofit. You have
Thank
the
you.
personality for it.
Thank you.
You are definitely a driven woman that is going to take it to a whole nother level. So I'm glad that you shared your story with even those that were on Facebook. A lot of times we don't want to post our business out on social media, but whenever we are going through things, the enemy always wants us to feel like we are going through it by ourselves. And even though we know, okay, there has to be stories of somebody else who's went through this. We know that there are stories of people who have went through the same thing or something similar because we've seen them. But it's like as soon as we get into the test, we forget about those stories. It's like the enemy comes in and he takes those things away from us. I tell my daughter all the time that the devil is in the details. So if you're not getting all the information you need to ask more questions, right? If
Mm-hmm.
something feels like it's blocking you, it's the devil, because
Mm-hmm.
he knows that in the details is where you're going to find God, because we serve a God of revelation who wants to reveal things to us. And when we go through things, the first thing he says is, no one's going to understand your story. You're going to go through this by yourself. You're going to be alone. Um, Yada, yada, yada. I mean, from wing to wing, he just starts taking those weapons and he starts forming them. He starts getting ready to throw them darts. And
Mm-hmm.
even though so and so went through it, your story is not going to be like that. You shouldn't share with anybody, but you did. And you shared your story and you found a community of people that were able to not only wrap their arms around you, but you were able to wrap your arms around them. So
Mm-hmm.
were there any other nuggets, like as you're going through this, you and your friend, y'all get together, now y'all realize, okay, look, we got the same stage of breast cancer, we got the same doctor, we got the same surgeon, like we're identical in this thing. So praise God. I'm not in this by myself. So now you both are birthing um a new faith, right? A new
Mm-hmm.
project of faith. But was there any other moments where your faith began to collide with reality in this season? Any other moments where it was just like, um, I know I got faith, but right now this is a mountain, and I don't know how I'm going to get over this mountain.
You know what? It's doing, I can say this. During my test going through breast cancer, I didn't have like that doubt.
Mm,
It was all about my faith.
mm,
It was no negativity in my brain whatsoever.
mm,
It's kind of cliche, like, girl, you really didn't feel like
mm,
I really didn't feel like that because I had really gave it to God.
Yeah. Mhm.
I really gave it to God. So I didn't have those, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna get through this. I didn't have that moment. Only
Mhm.
thing I wanted was my peace.
Yeah.
And I was cool with it.
So
So
your coping mechanism was peace. That was,
peace.
I'm gonna have to, and do you think that was because of the diagnosis? Like, do you think it, let's say that maybe the story ended up different, right? So let's say maybe you went in to get this biopsy to have a baby and found out you couldn't have kids. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the breast cancer. Do you think it, like, do you think it would still be the same, or do you think that your faith would have changed?
I don't think my faith would have changed because this was a lesson for me.
Mm,
This was really a lesson for me. And the reason why I say that is because before I was a worrier. Like
mm,
I worried about the most simplest, stupidest, just crazy, just stuff that I couldn't control. So this journey helped me to be patient,
mm-hmm,
believe in myself, and really have the faith of a mustard seed.
mm. Just a
And
little
that's
bit.
just, yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
All that nervousness, I'm a nervous type person or whatever, but all that went out the door.
yeah.
Like really, it went out the door. And I'm gonna tell you something. I was probably the most happiest I ever been in my life through my storm. So that's the
Mm,
reason why I can't tell you that I was,
yeah.
anything that was gonna triple me up because I had the love that I wanted. I had
Mm-hmm,
my family around me.
mm-hmm.
The attention that I was felt like I was craving, it was
Yeah,
all there.
yeah,
And that's what I wanted. I wanted my family to be together.
yeah.
So it didn't matter if if I didn't beat cancer.
Mm,
I just got what I wanted and always what I wanted. That acceptance, that
mm,
love, and that guidance from
mm-hmm.
God. He just brought me back. I'm his child.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah.
I,
Yes.
Lord, I didn't know I was gonna get it like this, but I got it.
Yes.
So, shifting gears for a bit, because this happened in 2024. It's now
Mm-hmm.
2026, so it's been about 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you've had your valley experiences, you've had your mountain experiences. I'm sure it's been up and down, up and down, up and down.
Mm-hmm.
You've got some trials out of it. You've got some
Mm-hmm.
testimonies out of it. You've got
Mm-hmm.
some lesson learns and ways that you have been
Mm-hmm.
strengthened throughout this journey. But what season, how would you describe your season now? Like, where are you now? Would you say that you're in a season of victory? Are you in a season of healing, or are you still walking it out? What is faith looking like right now?
Healing.
Mm,
Able to cry now compared to then.
yeah,
Able to express myself where I couldn't express it then because
yeah,
I was unsure.
yeah.
So it's all about healing right now. That's the season I am. I'm just healing. Just
You've
healing.
you've connected with little Kayla. You've
Yes.
connected. You've connected with that little girl who, because you mentioned that before all of this, you were not an emotional person.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So you probably were kind of like, got this turtle shell, a wall built up, and I'm not going to be emotional.
Mm-hmm.
But now you've been able to connect with that little girl and be able to let your tears fall.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
I mean, that's a form of transparency. That's a form of vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so how does that feel? How does that feel in this season to let the world see Kayla?
This is a blessing. I
Mm,
wake up every day. This is a blessing to be able to express how I'm feeling. A lot of
mhm.
people don't have the guts to explain what they're going through.
Right.
And they battled whatever they say inside them, their demons inside. No,
Yes.
I'm letting the world know it's okay. It's a community out there that loves you, want to hear your story,
Mm-hmm.
and just do what you know you're supposed to do on this earth. And
Mm.
if you ask God, He will give it to you. But just be careful because you don't know how you're gonna get it.
You have not because you ask not. No, if you ask
Right.
God, he will show you. And yeah, most of the time we go in thinking, oh yeah, I want to do it like this, and God is like, yeah, you'll do it, but you're not gonna do it like that. Not gonna happen
Hmm.
because God has to get the glory.
He do.
He has
Oh
to
my.
get the glory, and he will get the glory when we release, we yield, and we let him get the glory because that's what it's all about. And him getting the glory means that we gotta step aside. We gotta connect with um some old feelings, some and I'm sure that you probably had those moments where you were like, I really don't want to feel like this, but God, if you're showing me I need to let this go, if I need to let this go, then I'm going to do it
Mhm.
because I don't know the outcome, but I know who holds the outcome. And if I'm going to be with you, then I cannot take this
Right.
with me.
Yeah.
I can't.
And will not take it. That was my goal.
Will
Like
not
I
take it.
wasn't gonna. Yeah.
I shall not take it. I will not take it. It's not. It's no longer serving anything for me. So you had to break some of those agreements with lies. But I'm glad that you were able to connect with your younger self and be
Hmm.
able to release those tears. I don't know why some women and why sometimes. I guess like with women, it's like we're either on this end where we're just so emotional, we're crying with everything, or we just don't want to cry. Like we don't want to cry about anything. But there has to be that balance of it's okay to cry. And even though women are coined as emotional creatures because, you have some women, I think it's just because it may not necessarily be a where we cry all the time, but we are emotional. Like we can be happy, sad, angry, mad, rage, all of these things. Like all
Hmm.
these emotions can happen through our hormones and all of these things happen to us. But to be able to recognize that there was a part of you that did not connect with an emotion that was healing because tears are healing. Tears
Hmm.
are freeing. Tears are a form of release. It's how our body releases toxins
Hmm.
from on the inside. So being able to connect with tears. So I dare say now that you won't hold back your tears.
No. No, not at all.
I'm not
I
gonna
was
hold
look,
back my tears.
yeah, I would not. But I was in fight mode then.
Yes.
So it wasn't time to cry. It was just try to do what you need to do to survive.
Yeah.
So I'm still healing. It's really been like a year in between me not having like other treatments. And
Okay.
but I still have to constantly go to so the journey continues.
Continues.
It's
Yeah.
different levels to it.
Yeah.
And in May, um, hopefully I go again to go through my scan again and
Okay.
I'm gonna be clear by the grace of God. So,
Yes.
and that anticipation,
Yeah.
that's another level of it. You
Yeah.
know, is it gonna come back?
Yes.
So I have to keep thinking, being positive, keep
Positive.
doing something positive, keep making sure I keep my goal to definitely to reach, people and to help them. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk over, but yesterday I went to work. I worked at Sephora, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the sales rep lady was in the back. She was really upset,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "My daughter, she has cancer."
Mm.
And during that time, I didn't want to be there. I was hot. I was I was
Yeah.
just I was just in the back, and I'm just like looking like this the whole time. And then when she said it, My eyes just looked at her, and I said, "My name is Kayla too, and I went through cancer, breast cancer, and I've been out a year. And I'm here to
Mm.
help if you need."
Oh, wow.
Her eyes just went big. She called her daughter. I spoke to her daughter, gave her some advice that needed. She got my phone number, and right then I was a little upset um, before I walked in to work. But look
Yeah.
how God was able to use me. And that lady, before she left, she said, "Thank you for telling the stuff that I was telling my daughter. She wouldn't listen to me, but you have been a blessing to
Yeah.
me." So that right there just gives me like the little furry,
Yeah.
like how I was able to help somebody today. And I told her, give me a call. If you
Yes.
need some help, give me a call and I can help you through your resources to get help.
Being getting encouragement, being able to encourage other, you are blessed to be a blessing to somebody else through your story. So I'm definitely standing in agreement with you that when you go back in May for your annual checkup, that all is going to be well, that the blood of Jesus has covered you, is going to continue to cover you, and
Mhm,
that you're going to continue to grow forward. You're going to continue to share your testimony. You're going to continue to build out the nonprofit and help other women. But as we
mhm,
get ready just to kind of wrap things up, I want you
mhm,
to take a moment, just spend a few minutes and think about the woman that is going to watch this, whether it be in 3 months, whether it be in a year from now, in 5 years from now, who comes across this. Um, and see, oh, look at those ladies that got their pink on. And even though pink is the breast cancer color, as you have described, there's nothing pretty about it's a pretty color, but this
mhm.
disease, this diagnosis, it's not pretty. It's life altering, it's life changing. And for a lot of people, it can be life stifling. It can be crippling to the point where they crawl up in a room and they don't want to come out. But I want you to take a moment. What would you say to the woman who is watching, who is in the early stages of this fight or any fight? And how she can and will overcome.
Don't wait to live.
Mm,
Don't wait to live. Whatever you're going through, don't let that negativity take over you. Because
yeah.
it's mind over matter.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it sit in. Enjoy life.
Mm,
Even if you're sick, just try to push through. Smile. Do something fun you like to do. Do
mm-hmm.
all the things that you say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this." No, do it now. I remember being just finished probably like a treatment and I was going to Mexico.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
Nothing is going to stop me.
nothing was gonna stop me. Yes.
Amen. Put the dress
Yeah.
on. Put the new
Yeah.
shoes on. Go ahead, because
Yeah.
we will save the purse and the jewelry. And I'm waiting for a special occasion. You are the special occasion. Just wear
Exactly.
it. Plan the trip. Go try the new restaurant that you want to try. But like you said, live, 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 live.
Mhm.
God said that or the word of God says that, Christ came so that we would not just have life, but we would have an abundant life,
Abundance.
be able to live life abundantly. And the way that we live life abundantly is by accepting His grace, accepting His new mercies that He gives us every day. But it's also through people like Miss Kayla Harris, who um, shares their journey, shares their story, who is willing to go through it because I know you didn't diagnose yourself with this terminal illness, but you were willing to go through the journey. You were willing to go through it. You were willing to be a beam of hope for yourself, for your family, because it sounds like you had to be strong for people around you um, as well. And sometimes we find ourselves in that situation where, I got to be the pillar of strength. But on the other side of that, you had people who were able to pour into you. You had a community that was able to pour into you and give you everything that you needed. So, any last words of wisdom, anything else that you wanna share. I mean, this is just been so rich. My heart is so full. I had to hold back some tears because I forgot to put my tissue right. Because I'm a waterhead. I've been a waterhead my whole life. I am not afraid to cry. Listen, I'm gonna cry. But any final words, Kayla, that you want to share?
Advocate for yourself,
Mm,
advocate for others in this situation of having breast cancer. Definitely make sure you go get your mammograms, get checked. If you feel like something is off, just check your body. Um, Eat right,
mm-hmm.
have faith,
Mm-hmm.
put God first.
Yes.
He will lead you the way.
Mm,
Nothing, don't let nobody stop your vision. Endure. I'm telling you, trouble do not last always. And that song keep playing in the back of my head. Trouble don't last.
mm-hmm.
I can't sing it,
Don't
but
last always. I can't either. But
don't
trouble
last
don't
always.
last.
I'm so glad. Yeah, so I'm just so
Yes.
glad. Yeah.
Trouble does not last always. Always remember that. Because even the word says that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. So
Yes.
it may be nighttime right now, but eventually the sun is going to come out. Your joy is on the other side of just getting through this moment. Kayla Harris is a walking testament of that. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Miss Kayla,
Thank
for sharing your journey. For those who are watching and will watching, I pray that you have been blessed. I know that I have been blessed, and we are going to look for more details about the nonprofit. So make sure you keep me in the loop with
Oh, yeah.
what you're doing so that I can share and support in any way that I possibly can with your nonprofit. So I'm looking for wonderful greatness. Your name is going to be in lights. I know it is because you have the drive and you have the tenacity for it. So thank you, Miss Kayla, for joining me. And I pray that your journey just continues to speak volumes.
All right. Thank you so much.
Every amen feels like open doors. Heaven in